Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. Today, with me, Dani, I'm here with Rosan, also known as Celeste. Some people might pronounce Celeste, but
Oh, yeah.
you can find her on YouTube as a creator for armies, a bunch of other things. But today, we're going to be interviewing her with a bunch of questions for
Mhm.
those of you that wanted to get to know her a little better, but also those of you that are just curious about what she's about. And
Mhm.
Celeste, would you like to say a few words before we get started?
Oh, yes. Hey, guys, it's Roseanne, aka Celeste. Thank you guys so much for taking your time to join us today because I know actually, I hope you guys are doing good. Have an amazing weekend. But yeah, I am so ready to have a good chat with y'all. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. But thank you so much for having me, Danny. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for being here. So let's just jump right into it. And by all means, we want to know the nitty gritty of it all.
Ooh, okay. Sounds good. Sounds good.
So, your first question, Roseanne, is when did you become an army and why did you decide to stick around?
So I always start off by saying that I've been into K-pop since 2006, and it was actually my sister who introduced me to BTS. I still remember the day too. It's kind of crazy. My boyfriend right now, at that time was uh, there to witness me watch BTS's video. It was a choreography video to "We Are Bulletproof" Part Two.
Mhm.
And the first thing that like caught my attention was just how sharp and intense the dance was. So that's when it started because you know, I'm not really a dancer. I can't say dancer. I'm a retired retired dancer. I don't know. I just love dancing. So I was just like that's what sucked me in at first. But I officially became an army in around February 2014. This was when they came back with the School Love Affair album, and it was Boy in Love. And so, yes. But what made me decide to stay was when I really dived into their personalities, like watching shows such as, American Hustle Life and all that. It was just, you could feel how genuine and hilarious the boys are and their relationship with each other. And that's what really got me to stay was BTS being BTS.
Yes, oh, that's so sweet. You heard it here, folks. She's a veteran.
No,
She's
no,
been
I
here
don't.
for a minute.
My sister is the best. She was there since the beginning, so I'm like, girl, yeah,
You're the veteran. She's the lieutenant.
yeah,
Okay. Okay, thank
yes.
you. So, a bit of a heavy question, but take your time with it. This
Mhm.
is a question that I'm sure you can just go on forever answering. But
Okay.
how has BTS been an inspiration for you?
Well, whew, I know every time someone's asked this question, there's we can go on forever, but they have inspired me so much. First of all, they have pushed me to continue doing what I love regardless of what others may think. And I know like like millions of people around the world have also learned to slowly love themselves, to accept themselves for who they are, but also like I am striving to become a better individual. Like I've never had any artist make me think about myself and how I want to grow, you know what I mean, as a person. But also, they've taught me to appreciate the small things in life, like nature, your loved ones, and they help me practice gratitude. And I feel like that is super important. And I know if you've been around for a while, you've probably heard of, the saying, what Yoongi want, Yoongi gets. I read a lot of books such as Into the Magic Shop because BTS, but there's a lot of things that I've learned through them, such as the law of attraction and just being grateful, and I just practice that in my everyday life now, and I feel like I've become such a better person because of them. Yeah, and now they made me realize I'm really into psychology. That's just I'm like, huh. But yes, they honestly they are a piece of my happiness now. And I don't know where I would be honestly especially during this pandemic without BTS. Like, what would I be doing? That's what I always ask myself.
That made me so soft. Very, very beautiful answer. it's nice when an artist tells you what you can do for yourself,
Mhm,
but when they
mhm.
set the example, it just sets the bar, doesn't it? I'm glad to
Exactly.
hear I'm glad to hear it for you. So, next question I have for you. When
Mhm.
did you start your YouTube channel and why?
Ooh. Ooh, well, the interesting thing is I actually created this specific channel back in 2008, but I only used it to upload videos so I could like send it to friends because there was no such thing as like Google Drive and all that stuff. You know what I mean?
I
So
remember.
I would like unlisted or private the video and just send the link to them. I don't even think there was unlisted at the time. I think it was just private. But it wasn't until like years later when I wasn't really in a good like mental state and I was always just infatuated with editing and just being a content creator. I don't even know if the word content creator was a thing before, but I always loved vlogging and editing, even without uploading. But the first kind of videos that I started creating on my channel was actually gaming videos. I love video games. And so I realized though that I was starting to build a toxic relationship with video games because the whole time I was just playing, I was just trying to get like good footage. I wasn't playing video games as a
Okay.
downtime or something. So I didn't want to build that toxic relationship. So then the thing that I really wanted to get into, other than video games, like K-pop is my passion. And so, I started uploading reaction videos, but slowly I realized I was just more into being an army and BTS content because um you know it's hard to continue doing something that you're not really passionate about. Do you know what I mean? Like I can't
Absolutely.
just react. I mean, like, this is how I feel personally. I can't just react to certain things because especially when it comes to music, I'm very picky. So it's hard if I don't like something, I it's not going to be a good reaction. So the only thing that I genuinely love is just BTS and Army. So this is why I continue to create reaction videos as well, is because it's a way to connect and show my excitement with other fans while also, providing content that I hope helps other armies and other fans as well.
Okay, awesome. No, excellent answer. I actually want to dive a little bit deeper into that.
Yes. Yes,
So,
yes.
actually, the next question that I have for you is how has starting a YouTube channel helped you contribute to the Army community? You started
Well,
off. Let's hear some more.
well, I hope I've contributed as much as I could.
So modest.
The thing is, it's amazing to see when people do comments saying that, this has helped me a lot, or like they were able to send it to somebody to help them understand, because that is my goal. Because I will dive more deep into it, like why I even started making like those kind of videos. But I just want to try to help armies visually. You know what I mean? There are a lot of things that we can't really explain with words, and so I feel like I've helped in that way visually. I don't know. I don't know how to explain.
I think that's an excellent answer. As someone with a learning disability that
Mhm.
does have trouble reading sometimes, I am
Mhm.
so in love with visual videos, and
Yeah.
your videos definitely do the trick. So I'm sure you're contributing to plenty of people,
Oh,
and
I
I'm
hope
glad
so.
that you actually enjoy doing it.
Oh,
That's
yes.
awesome to hear. So, what do you enjoy most about creating content on YouTube? I'm sure there's a thousand things, but let's see if we can point out the one that you enjoy the most.
Well, other than like recording and editing, I basically grew up in front of a camera. Actually, before the word vlogging was invented, my mom was technically vlogging me. But you know, but the thing is, what I enjoy most about posting videos on YouTube is just the feedback that I get. Like there are a lot of videos where I spend literally months trying to create, and it's so worth it. And in the end, after like getting all these feedbacks and support and love, and that's what pushes me to continue to create content, is just the feedback, and the support that I get is just all worth it in the end. So thank you to everyone who's continued to support me, who, just watching my videos helps me a lot. So
How was that feedback for you in the beginning? Was it overwhelming, or if anything, it just definitely drove you?
the thing is, it's really interesting. A lot of the videos that I spend hours and months on actually don't become big right away. It actually takes months. I think, I don't know how YouTube algorithm works. But yeah, even just like the first couple of comments, like as soon as the video drops, there are just a handful of people that comment, and that just really motivates me. And just thinking about like the reach, how far my video reaches, because sometimes I notice they're like reposted on Facebook as well. And I read the comments on there, and I'm like, it doesn't even matter at that point anyway, if like I'm not credited or whatever, because that's not really my thing. I'm just happy that the message that I'm trying to push out there is being shared throughout the world. So somehow, yeah.
So, I'm glad it's happening for you then. So we talked a little bit about how you obviously love creating this content, that it does something for some people. So here, you have a specific video on your channel where you talk about sports fans and boy band fans. It's actually a little bit recent. Loved it. But can you explain why it was important for you to speak on the topic?
Well, I feel like it has been an ongoing discussion on Twitter. We see it happening, right? But we haven't really sat down and thought about these things as a society, because even I am guilty of it, because we know the difference. Like, we know how boy bands are treated compared to sport fans, but we never really like sat down and thought about it. You know what I mean? So I guess I got my inspiration from Research BTS. She created a graph, and also like a lot of comparisons on Twitter that I would see, especially when there's like sport events. And I felt like, and as a visual person, I felt like it was super important to showcase the examples visually, like compare them side by side to showcase like there are a lot of things that both fandoms have in common. The only difference is, one is prevalence and violence and is male dominated, while the other is female dominated. And what gets me the most is that, other than the boy band fans being treated completely different, I feel like society is so used to discrediting young people, especially girls and women. And I felt like that was my goal for the video, was just highlighting, yes, we have all of this in common, but I want you to ask yourself, why are we treated differently? And that was the thing I wanted to highlight. So we need to, I feel like as soon as we start acknowledging that there is a difference, then we could start making change. And I don't want it to be such a normal thing for us to be like, yeah, that's how they're treated, and we treat this differently. I want us to start acknowledging it and making a change, which is why I created the video.
Awesome. That's a super cool answer.
Thank you.
Because, of course, because it's very easy for people to say, yeah, that's how other people see us. But there's also the fact that sometimes we may fall into being okay with us being treated different and just accepting the fact.
Right.
But for those of you that haven't gotten the chance to see it, totally recommend going to watch it, because when she says side by side, it really leaves a respectful impact. Totally recommend it, because once it's side by side, it totally speaks for itself. She did a wonderful job. Make sure to go over there and watch it.
Thank you. Yes.
Yes. So you also have videos that explain BTS's journey as a group that includes some of the hardships and prejudice that they had to face. Why was that important for you to create a video around that?
Now, the interesting thing is I actually when I first started creating videos like Nobody's to Legends, I actually created it for me personally, because I was on a trip. I was actually in Korea. I still remember what happened. We sat down with a couple of friends, and these friends were asking, why is BTS popular? They couldn't understand why. And as an army, it's like we know in our heart why BTS is so popular, but it's so hard to kind of gather the words in the most simplest form and just say it. I mean, we would sit there for hours, me like explaining why they're so popular. So when I came back home to the US, I was like, you know what? Let me create something visually, because I was also frustrated. There's millions and millions of people around the world who were also probably in my position where it's so hard for them to explain. So I thought maybe if I create a video, this could help me and other oh, sorry, I'm hitting my mic, and other people around the world. So my goal was to just help people understand BTS and their journey, and that they didn't just grow overnight. You know what I mean? There was this whole, it was just frustrating to see people discredit BTS and ARMY and just treat them unfairly, because it's like they didn't put the time and effort into kind of just Googling BTS and stuff. And it's until now, even now, BTS is still constantly trying to climb a mountain with ARMY. We would have thought by now things have gotten better, but it kind of made us realize how society is and how the music industry is. But I don't care if you don't like BTS or if you don't like their music. All we want as a fandom is for people to respect BTS. You know what I mean? If you don't have anything nice to say, just don't say it. Just don't say it, kind of thing. It's like, why do you have to put more effort into discrediting them, saying, xenophobic stuff? So basically, I'm already like losing track of the reason why, but I just want people to know that there is just so much more to BTS and so much more to ARMY. And that's the reason why I continue to create these kind of videos, to help someone educate people. Yes.
Fantastic. So while we're on the topic, you really just got super passionate there. Hit your mic, even.
Yeah, I always do that. Like, I just need to stay away from my mic.
So I'm remembering that you've been here for a while, longer than I have. People would consider me a veteran army, but you've definitely been here longer than I have. So with you being able to kind of put down for people their large, massive journey and how sincerely their growth has been organic. I'm actually very curious. Where were you and what happened when they got their first major win? And how was that for you? Break it down for those that are kind of new, that kind of have an idea of understanding where they came from, but knowing.
Oh, my heart. Hold on.
I know. Take your time.
So here's the thing. I didn't get to, okay, depending on which, their first win in 2015 or their first like album win.
Talk both. Let's start with that first one, because both, from what I remember, was very emotional.
Yes.
So let's start with your very first one and then that album one.
Okay, so here's the thing. I'm guilty because I didn't get to watch any of these shows live. Like they would. I don't even think the live broadcasting thing on YouTube, like they don't show these live streams like they do now. It's not easy to access this back in 2015. now that I think about it, but I remember like when we first started talking about their first win, it's kind of like a relief because it took that many years. There are so many groups that I have seen, obviously, because I've been doing K-pop for a while, win their awards so quick. But to win it after so many years, it was just a sigh of relief, but also like finally, they won with "I Need You," and I felt like it was perfect because it was such a big transition within their music, but also I Need You was kind of like the start to showcasing how broad their genre could expand. You know what I mean? They're not just about hip hop, because that's how BTS started with hip hop. So I remember that it was a relief, but also I didn't realize it would be a start to more crazy things. You know what I mean? Because the thing is, like, you get, and Namjoon has also talked about this, they thought things would be done after debuting, but it continues. The climb continues, you know what I mean? It doesn't just stop with, their first win, music show win. And when they got their first huge award, especially this was the year during 2016.
Yes.
Honestly, 2016, I can honestly say was one of the most challenging, most scarring year personally as a fan, because I'm following other groups as well, so I was kind of aware of all the drama that was going on. And so I was just super 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 proud of BTS when they got their first gigantic Taesung win, album of the year, because it's rightfully deserved, and they were the first from a company not from the big three.
Yes.
And so that was just unbelievable to me because that just has never happened before. And so of course I was just very proud when that happened, but things followed after. But I'm just thankful that I was there to witness, and I think that's what drives me to also create content that I do now, is because there has been a lot of armies that weren't around at that time, and I just want them to understand. I don't want them to feel left out, but I want them to understand why we are what we are now today. You know what I mean? Because there's so many events that happened that created us now.
Yes, they don't just win because they win.
Yeah,
There's a story behind
there's
it.
a huge
Thank you
story.
so much. Definitely an answer from the heart, deep within. I loved it. You have really cool videos where you dive into theories. Those hefty ones. I'm sure you know which ones I'm talking about.
Oh
Like
yes.
explaining the Bangtan universe or breaking down BTS teasers for an upcoming single. I'm sure it's very helpful for the newer ones too. But can you talk about why you enjoy making these types of videos? Because sometimes these videos end up being 30 minutes long. So no,
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
It means you're into every single detail as much as possible.
Okay.
But I can only imagine that's a lot of work. So can you talk about why, and I would imagine you constantly putting this out like all the time. You just have to enjoy it. So we would like to know, can you talk about why you enjoy making these types of videos?
Well, I've always enjoyed solving mysteries and even plots within movies or dramas. Like I'm always that person like, oh, this is gonna happen next. Like kind of stuff. I don't know why. That's just how I love to guess what happens next. So when it came to BTS, like as soon as they dropped I Need You, you already know there was something behind it. And I was like already infatuated with it. I'm like, you know what? Something crazy is about to happen. Now I'm not a smart or genius person at all. Like I don't even know what my IQ is, but for some reason, when it comes to BTS's storyline, it's like I have a separate memory card in my brain that like holds all that information. You know what I mean? I can't remember stuff, but like when it comes to their storyline, I like know it like at the back of my hand kind of stuff. And so I know that it's hard to sit down and gather all of these puzzle pieces because literally, you need the book, the webtoon, the game. Like, who, I don't know, big hit, hype. Who has the time to sit down and gather all those pieces? So I enjoy helping other armies kind of understand the storyline because I don't want them to feel overwhelmed. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, not everyone has the time to sit down and gather all those pieces. So I want armies to understand it better visually. And so I just enjoy solving things and I enjoy helping other armies. So that's why I continue to make these videos. And I have so much fun trying to gather all the visuals and putting them together and creating a script. Because even me, like I'm going to be honest, like when I'm creating all these theory videos, even I learn more about the videos. Like my recent one that I just dropped was the Wings Era Explained. There was so many things that even I didn't know until I was actually creating that video. I was like, what? Like, for example, like the apples. I don't know why I never noticed this before, but like in the Blood, Sweat, and Tears music video, there was apples on their plate. And I'm like, I don't know why I never noticed that before. But just small things like that. And it helps me understand their storyline better, which is why I enjoy it as well.
That's awesome. Another video that I highly recommend is the one that she just mentioned. Please be sure to check out the video where she's explaining the Wings era. I don't know how many times I've explained to newer ones or people that just haven't gotten around to it that when that thing dropped, it was full hysteria. And then it went on for like another 2-3 years.
Yes.
So she did you understand. So if you're looking for a nice, compact, but definitely simple and detailed way to kind of better understand what Wings Era was for us and can be for you, highly recommend going to this video. You'll understand what I mean when I say she even mentioned the chocolate bar.
Yeah.
So please go check it out and make sure to let her know what you thought, because I'm no doubt in my mind that she's going to continue to add more because BTS is definitely going to bring us more.
Oh, yes, they are. So
thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
Awesome answer. And now let's dive into a little bit of the present. Obviously, with the pandemic, it's been hard on not only BTS, but us as ARMY, since both are eagerly waiting for those live concerts to come back. But
Mhm.
how have you been connecting with other fans and staying positive during this time? It'd be an excellent time to maybe help others figure out what they can probably do too.
Well, what has helped me a lot, and I'm sure, BTS has mentioned this multiple times, is like the access to social media. Like it's insane. I'm very thankful. There's a lot of pros and cons to social media, but I feel like it's brought a lot more pros to us. You know what I mean? And platforms such as Twitter and YouTube has helped me stay positive. Twitter helped me get the news because everyone is always up to date on there. I swear I get off Twitter for like an hour and like a bajillion things happen. So like it's just amazing to see armies like keep me updated. Like, or I just go on my timeline and everyone's already talking about something. So and the fact that through YouTube is also another way where I share my excitement and connecting with people through my comment section. But honestly, I've one thing that I also have to mention is that, their social media can get toxic, especially like there's a lot of things that happen on Twitter, but I have learned to separate the negativity and the drama that goes on. I don't engage in that, and that has helped me so much. And I want armies to know that it's okay to take mental breaks and also just learn how to distance yourself from that. You know what I mean? I feel like there is no need for you to like hurt yourself mentally, if you need that break. But once you've kind of separated that, Twitter has helped me a lot to stay positive. And so, yeah, it's just when you clear your timeline and you have amazing mutuals, things life just gets better.
Shout out to the mutuals.
Yes, shout out to the mutuals.
Okay, you heard it here, folks. Nothing wrong with walking away.
Yes.
Roseanne can do it.
Yes, it helps a lot.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Now, what do you love about the Army community?
Ooh, all right. Ooh, we could get deep into this one. There's so many reasons why I love the Army community, but I even created a video called "This Is Army" as an introduction. You know what I mean? Because there's just so much to unfold, but I tried to like get it to where as a casual watcher, or if you're just interested in Army, like you could just you could watch it without being overwhelmed. But not only is Army like the most organized, passionate, intelligent, caring fan base out there. I think this fan base is such a revolutionary like community. And I'm not saying that because, I'm being biased. It's like everyone around the world know of Army, and just there's a lot of amazing fan bases out there. Like I'm not trying to discredit that. There's a lot of fan bases out there for each artist that are amazing. But it's crazy because there are so many barriers that we've broken, so many history that we've created, and I feel like we've somewhat became a movement while fighting a whole industry, and not just one industry. We fought multiple industries. And so BTS and Army will forever be like powerful together. No one could break us apart. And I'm just so proud of being part of this community. And it's just like I said, I could keep going on. Not trying to be biased, but we the best. I'm just kidding.
Gang, gang, gang.
Yeah, we're good with that.
Well, thank you very much. Puff up my chest with pride.
I know.
Okay, so you've kind of talked about this
Mm.
throughout our discussion, but it just obviously shows that you have a genuine love for the people that do watch your things, but also Army as a whole. But what do you wish more people knew about Army? I think it kind of trails off of what you just answered.
Oh yes. First of all, I'm like, first of all, people. I just wish people would stop discrediting Army and labeling the whole fandom as toxic because just a handful of people would say or do something, because that just kind of it's just a way of discrediting a whole movement that we've created and thousands of amazing things that Army as a community have done. And I think though it's kind of a way for people to overshadow, like media or somebody wants to push a certain narrative about us, so they kind of just say, oh, they're so toxic, and just kind of like discredit everything else that we have done as a whole just because of a handful of people. And so it's either just fear or like a lack of information about how we are. But there are a lot of people, thousands of people, even other artists such as Halsey, Max, John
Mhm.
Cena. They know how we are. It's just I wish people would take the time to kind of learn, or at least just if you don't like army, just respect. Same thing. So I just want people to see how passionate and caring we are, and what we've done to get this far with BTS and how much we've accomplished.
That's beautiful. I really appreciate you emphasizing that there really is just this tiny part that people
Mhm.
seem to be focusing on to
Yeah.
generalize us as a whole. It's kind of like looking at a whole white blanket. You can have
Yeah.
this beautiful white blanket, but are you really going to just toss the whole blanket away because there's one piece of spaghetti sauce on it?
Uh, exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Can't go wrong with spaghetti,
I
euphemism,
know.
you know?
That sounds kind of good right now.
So thank you very much. And I hope it happens. I really do. And you're
Mhm.
doing your part in contributing to it. So, what is something you would like to tell new army that have recently joined the fandom?
I want you guys to not feel overwhelmed. And first of all, welcome to the family. Take your time, actually. I know that I've heard a lot of fans, like when they first go into it, there's a lot of information to intake. Okay. So much has happened. Um, don't feel overwhelmed. Enjoy your journey. The content is not going anywhere. Honestly, whatever is going to be there is going to be there forever. And so, but the one thing that I do want to advise you guys is to be aware of where you get your information from, because there's a lot of misinformation going around, and that could kind of lead you down a spiral of like just more misleading things. I want you to know that you could just ask. Don't be afraid to ask, army. We are gladly there to help you, and there's a lot of armies there that could help guide you the right way, you know what I mean? And I just want you to enjoy your journey, have a lot of fun memories created through this, and just yeah, thank you so much for taking your time to learn more about BTS and army and just becoming part of this fandom.
Oh, that's so sweet. Just like she said, guys, you have plenty of people just like her ready to explain anything that you may need if you're new. Don't go
Mhm.
searching for it in the TikTok comments.
Oh,
There's there's
TikTok.
plenty of people there's plenty of people ready to help you guys out. And
Mhm.
she's not telling you that. She's inviting you to go ask her, okay? So
Yes.
don't you hesitate.
Yes.
Now, is there anything you personally are excited about regarding BTS or Army that you're looking forward to? BTS has constantly got us on the grind. We know there's something coming. Is there
Yeah.
something you're looking forward to as of late?
Yeah. Well, other than us like being able to finally reunite in the future, I hope in the near future. That is something that I'm like totally looking forward to, because I know we're gonna cry in ocean. We're gonna cover that desert, and then but tears of joy and
Yes.
relief, not of sadness. But the thing is, one thing I want to point out is I am just so confused about their schedule, what's going on. They're so mysterious right now, because we thought we knew what was going to happen, but we don't know anything at all. Which is what I love, the whole mystery behind it.
Mhm.
But I'm excited. I feel like something big is coming. I know COVID has shifted a lot of things, and a lot of things were born out of it, such as the album B and a lot of new projects now. But I'm just super excited for their big album comeback. They have not dropped an album this year yet, and I don't even know if they're gonna drop an album. I thought they were gonna drop an album next month, but usually, we get news a month prior, but we have like
Mhm.
no news. So I'm looking forward to their concert, though. They're about to do the Permission to Dance
Yes.
concerts, all that. So, but that's one thing I'm just like, what are they going to perform? Like they already performed basically everything through their Map of the Soul one concert, and also their Muster, their during Festa. So I'm like, what are they up to? So yeah, super excited for that, and I'm looking forward to finally reuniting with everybody.
Yeah. Fantastic. When we say we love mysterious men, we mean BTS keeping things from us.
Oh, they're keeping us
Absolutely.
on our toes. They're keeping us on our toes.
Yes. But even during this time, even though they haven't released an album, they
Mhm.
have released singles. that a
Yeah.
lot of people have had different opinions on, especially considering
Mm.
the fact that they're in English. But we can
Mhm.
go through each of them if you'd like.
Oh,
But
yes.
I would love to know what you enjoyed about them, because I watched the reaction, Roseanne. You can't hide from me. You're jamming to each and every single one of them.
So the thing is, I totally respect any decision they make because they know themselves more than we know them. We can't
Of course.
dictate what to do. And so like I totally understand and respect them for singing in English. You know what I mean? Times have changed, so many things have changed, circumstances have changed, and I see the reason for creating songs in English. And I know people have other opinions about it, but it has done a lot of good, and it kind of proved a couple of things too when it came to like the music industry here in the US.
Yes,
Kind
it
of
did.
highlighted what it is. Just intent, it's just crazy because there are a lot of other songs out there such as like Black Swan,
Mhm.
other their Korean albums which I feel like deserved a lot of recognition, but their English songs are getting more attention in the US because it's
Mhm.
English. It actually highlights and shows you these xenophobic attitude going on. The what do you call that? Not barricading. What do you call? There's a word for
Gatekeeping?
it. Gatekeeping. Yes, yes. It highlights that, but also I feel like their songs have brought so much joy. You could feel the sincerity with their English songs. They're not just creating English songs to create English songs. You know what I mean? Like especially their mission with Permission to Dance. I know people had other thoughts about that, but I feel like they have achieved their goal through that music. They wanted to spread positivity, uplift people, bring hope. Have fun with it. You know what I mean? They're not trying to like make it such a serious down song. They wanted to uplift everyone, and I feel like it was just the perfect song to put out there and perform, especially for the United Nations General Assembly. And they've reached their goal with that. But I'm curious. Out of the three songs, so we're not trying to pick favorites here. We're not trying to
Of
pick
course.
favorites.
Of course.
But out of the three songs, "Permission to Dance," "Dynamite," and "Butter," which stands out to you the most?
Oh, moi?
Yes, yes.
I think I just have a good memory with Dynamite a lot. Aside from it
Oh
sounding
yes.
like taking me back to our early 90s Roseanne,
Yeah.
aside from, I fell in love with Jungkook when he came out, in basically every boy I had a crush on in elementary school. But I think the reason it had such an impact with me is because it made a lot of people question
Oh.
them. And
Mhm.
it's not that that's what I loved about it, but it definitely started the path that eventually led to this beautiful Permission to Dance song that is
Yes.
hitting everybody worldwide. Like
Yes.
it just took the step towards getting to the point where it's like, well, this doesn't really sound like BTS.
Hmm.
And then making people ask them, does it not sound like BTS? Or are you saying it's not BTS? Because once you read the
Hmm.
lyrics, this is very much BTS. And it ends up
Exactly.
being exactly what their goal has been for all these years,
Exactly.
trying to reach as many people as possible and uplift their spirits. And that's exactly what this song did. But I guess that's why I cherish Dynamite so much, because shoot, it had my dad bopping to it and asking me who sings this.
Right, right. Oh my
you
god.
know?
No, for real. Like, there's people that I like, friends who are like, they know Dynamite. When Dynamite dropped, I'm like, what? So it has reached a totally different like audience, and you can't deny that. Like, their reach during this pandemic has really broadened. And like, the thing that you brought up where when people question, is this BTS? The thing is, I want people to understand that it's okay to like miss certain eras, you know what I mean? Because I will forever love Wings, the Wings era, because not just because of the whole like artistry behind it, but it has made a lot of memories for me. But I want people to know that BTS has always created music about how they feel at that moment, what's going on in the world at that time. And so their music has always been about now, you know what I mean? So they can't just be making songs that they don't feel. and
Of
that's what they
course.
are doing now. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, comments I do see is like, oh, I miss the old BTS. I'm like, the BTS has just been themselves, just evolving,
People
growing as
grow.
artists. Yeah,
People
exactly.
grow. But thank you so much for that answer, because I'm just happy that people are questioning it, is
Hmm.
all. Because even if the discussion might not come from a positive place, I
Hmm.
end up finding a lot of people coming to a positive conclusion with BTS.
Yes, exactly.
So,
So, yeah, any kind of discussion, it's their names being brought into it, but they're being discussed. People are talking about them.
but they
And
know their name.
yeah, but they know their name.
Fantastic. But
Yes.
thank you for asking me. As you can, it's very easy to just jump in, right, when it comes to BTS.
Exactly. Exactly.
And I guess the last thing that I can say, and I'm pretty sure you'll agree, and if you can add more to it, Dynamite seemed very not scary territory for them, but they kind of knew what may come out of it,
Oh, yes.
even if that meant negative response. But I
Mm.
loved Namjoon's answer in sounding very self-sacrificial, in saying keeping it in English seemed like the right thing to do for the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah. Yes. That's one thing is like people they talk about these kind of things, their thought process and how this music came to be. I want people to not start creating narrative thinking they know the boys better than they know themselves. And that's why they continue to say, please trust us, BTS, trust BTS, because they know where their heart is at, and you could tell that they genuinely love doing what they love to do, and you could really feel that through their music. And it, like you've mentioned, they had to do a few changes here and there, a
Mhm.
couple of changes, but they are still themselves. And you see that when you watch their shows, Bangtan Bombs, variety shows,
Mhm.
they are still themselves. I actually had a friend comment, which is really interesting because he just recently got, like, he knows BTS, right? He's
Yeah.
been into K-pop. But he just started watching their shows. The first show he watched is In the Suit. And then after he finished that, he watched their first Bon Voyage, and he pointed out how they were the same, like Jimin forgetting his luggage. Like they're still doing the same habits, but also how they act, how they are with each other. And he says that he could genuinely feel that their friendship is so true. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of groups out there that they just consider each other like work buddies, but not like
Mhm.
as brothers.
Mhm.
So just hearing it through a different perspective, it's just amazing to see like BTS stay humble and stay true to themselves, because it's hard when you're considered the biggest boy band in the world.
Yeah.
Some people may get lost in it, you know what I mean? But I feel like all seven of the boys kind of help each other stay rooted, you know what I mean? So yeah.
I'm sorry. I know you're probably, you made a face like, is she okay? It's like, I'm just gushing. My heart is really swelling with your answers. So thank you very much for that. So finally,
Mhm.
is there anything else you personally would like to share that you want more people to know? This can be about the fandom, your background, or something we didn't mention that you would like to bring up, because I know we had a bunch of questions for you and we were able to dive in pretty deep with a lot of them. But if there's anything that maybe you haven't had the opportunity to have someone ask you and you've been hoping that they ask, or you just generally
Mm.
want to bring it up, the platform is yours. This is your chance. Take your time to think about
Oh,
it if
oh
you
my
need to.
gosh. Like I never really thought about this.
You
Well, I
matter, Roseanne. You mattered.
well, here's the thing. I know, um, when it comes to social media, people always just tend to showcase what they want people to see. You know what I mean? There has always been this thing about me where I've always wanted to create a video called. This used to be like such a big thing before, where you like draw my life kind of
Yes.
thing. Not as a way to brag, but I kind of wanted to showcase you can be born into a situation and you will have to deal with the cards you're given, But like I mentioned earlier, like the law of attraction, like how much BTS has inspired me to shift my mentality. And I can't really talk much about where I came from, how my life was before, but let me tell you, it's yes. So anything is possible. I know it's kind of hard to think that when you're in a certain situation, because not long ago, actually, not before I moved here to Vegas, I was just not in a good mental state. And when you're not in a good mental state, it's kind of hard to get out of that, and you feel like there is no, light at the end of the tunnel, but you can get out of it. I wanted to create that video of my life because I wanted to inspire people. It's hard, where when you think people don't understand where you're at, or how things are. But I have not gotten to creating that video because I don't feel like I'm not a big person. I'm not no famous person. So it's kind of like, what am I trying to put out there? But all I want you guys to know is that anything is possible. The universe works with you if shift your mentality. It's really hard. Like, for example, it will read. If you guys haven't read the book, I recommend you reading Into the Magic Shop. I read that book because BTS was inspired by that, and created music and a concept around it. But if you need help mentally, that book had helped me a lot. Other than also the other book called The Secret. There's also like a Netflix documentary thing on that as well. You guys could watch that. But that has helped me so much mentally, and I feel like you guys can get there. So, for example, you know, I don't know why I thought of this because I'm going on a trip soon. But when you're like going on a plane ride and you get anxious, and the only thing you can think of is like, I hope the plane doesn't crash. I hope the plane doesn't crash. Change your mentality to, I'm going to get to my destination safely. I'm going to get to my destination safely. Because kind of like the universe doesn't understand. Don't. So for example, it's like, I don't want to spill this water, but you're thinking that you're going to spill the water. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
yeah, I don't know where I was going off on a tangent, but I just want people to know that especially now with the whole COVID situation, life is just not what we want it to be. But there is hope, and BTS is keeping me positive. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, don't think you went off on a tangent. What I got out of everything you just said is you want people to be happy,
Mhm.
and that should
Mhm.
find ways to make it happen.
Yes.
So, and I don't think I was ignoring you. I was writing down Magic Shop, and
Yeah.
I missed. And what was the second book for the
In
whole audience
in
to hear?
Oh, I actually have the books behind me. Hold on.
Okay, please show them off.
Oh my god! Look at that. How does this happen? How?
Oh, they don't. It doesn't want you to leave.
Yeah, I was like, what? Okay, let me grab it. The Secret and Into, where is Mom? Into the Magic Shop. Oh, I'm blind. Sorry. So these are the two books.
Yes.
Into the Magic Shop by James R. Doty. Love this, but it actually goes hand in hand with also The Secret. It's kind of like the same message, but they have a documentary on The Secret. You guys should really watch it. It's basically talking about that your thoughts are actually pretty powerful, and you could attract what you think you attract. So yeah, I could even get
I
this
think you
thing.
can find it on Netflix if it's still on there. But I think
Yeah.
The Secret has to do a little bit with your outlook can actually change what you end up with.
Oh yes, and I honestly believe. Well, obviously I'm sure they've read like Into the Magic Shop, but the saying how what Yoongi wants, Yoongi gets. Like he
Yeah.
puts it out there, he manifests it, and I feel like you
Yes.
guys could also do the same, manifesting what you want in life.
Okay. Well, I think that's a beautiful message for everybody. So, with that, I want to say thank you so much, Roseanne, for your time. Thank you so much for your time, not only with me, but taking an opportunity to speak to fans as well. For those of you that aren't sure or might have forgotten, she will be answering more questions on Fave, the app, where you can send your questions to her, and she will personally answer them for you. So don't hesitate. We're looking
Mhm.
forward to seeing them. So thank you again so much, Roseanne.
Thank
It's
you.
been an absolute pleasure, and I'm looking forward to your future videos too.
Oh, thank you so much, Danny, for having me and taking the time to interview me. But also, thank you to Faith for hosting this. And I hope you guys will continue to, love yourself and support BTS.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye bye.